Hello, everyone. It's the interview queen, Alicia Atout here, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to my interview with Kat Von D. Hello.
Hi. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing so well. How are you doing over there?
I'm hanging in there, excited to talk to you.
So excited to have you on. I can't even begin to tell you. There's, of course, so much to dive into. I feel like you are just wearing so many different hats right now, one quite literally. I found that so many people, they discovered some incredible new hobbies during the pandemic and simply being at home more. So I was wondering for you, other than the music we will be getting into, how was some of your downtime actually spent? Did you discover anything new?
I'm naturally a homebody, so like when the lockdowns first started, it really wasn't much of a change for me, to be honest. The main thing was that my bandmates moved into our guest house, and that's when we started working on some of the sound design for our live shows and adding some new tracks to the album and stuff. So yeah, I mean, we were really productive. We worked from noon to 5 every weekday. And I think I tend to thrive on schedules. I like deadlines and structure. So yeah, it was very bearable for me.
I'm the same way. I kind of love the pressure of it. It's like that cooking pot where it's
Yeah,
like, yes, I have to get this done in a certain amount of time. So it's good
yeah,
you're actually
totally.
able to work with that.
Yeah, totally.
And you do have to tell me a little bit about these adorable monkey sculptures you're having custom made for your home because
Yeah.
they look so good.
So, oh, thank you. I love old houses. We have a house here in LA that was built in 1890, and it took me about 6 years to restore it. And so I plan on doing a book and a little mini documentary on the making of this house. And then we just purchased another house in Indiana, and it's like the boyfriend to this house. It's very masculine. It was built in 1874, and it's Second Empire style, so it's a lot more brick. It's very, very strong looking, whereas this one is, wooden shingles and it's a little bit more delicate. But so for the new house in Indiana, I just really wanted to um, kind of just make it my wildest dreams come true. And so I teamed up with this amazing woodworker named Patrick, who he can just make anything come to life out of wood. And so he had this theme of doing monkeys throughout the house, and each of them would represent a different element, art, music, love, philosophy, literature. And so
Love
each
that.
of them are going to be holding different little things, and they're going to just kind of be like interactive monkeys throughout the house.
Oh,
So yeah.
I feel like it'll be a little symbol anytime you're maybe down or something. You see that one, you're like,
Yeah,
yes, love that one, be happy.
exactly. Well, I think it's good to surround yourself with things that inspire you, and I think when it comes to your home, especially, it should be something that you find beautiful and you feel like a sanctuary.
Right, your own little fortress of solitude.
Yeah.
Well, it's just such an exciting time to be you, along with a fan of your music, because your debut album, Love Made Me Do It, is officially on the horizon. And you've dropped so many
Yeah.
different launches over the years. So, what's kind of running through
Yeah.
your mind as this music release is just creeping up right now?
I mean, it's exciting. We're obviously excited about releasing the album, but I'm most excited about touring. I think just when I wrote these songs, I wrote a majority of them on piano and a few on guitar, but I'm not a very good guitar player. But I really felt like they were written to be played live. Like they're designed to sing out loud to people, and so I'm excited about the production aspect of that, because one thing that I really hate about when I go to shows is like when you see a band that you really love and then they're just like kind of just standing there in front of a mic, and I'm just like,
Thank
oh, this is
you.
I could have just stayed at home and listened to the record. We have a contortionist in our band, Brenda. She's amazing, and so she's part of like the entire visual storytelling of the album. So I think people are gonna be in for a treat when they come out and see us play.
Oh, I'm so excited to catch one of those shows.
Yeah.
One thing
Yeah.
that someone will be able to actually hear at these forthcoming gigs would be the newest single, I Am Nothing. It's officially out,
Yeah.
and this is just a really vulnerable, slow, synthy, tasty jam. And I do know that the song was written for those who have ever felt like they aren't enough. I've been there. You've personally said that you've been there.
Yeah.
So, what kind of moment sparked that feeling of just wanting to be so open about such a serious topic like that?
I mean, I've always been a pretty open book about feelings, and I think that music is such a beautiful way to, I guess, a beautiful outlet for those types of expressions. I mean, it's very literal. I feel like with art, you can create a sentiment with an image, but when you're using lyrics and your vocals as a form of expression, it's a little bit more, I think, close to home. So I don't think there's any way around it. I think my biggest challenge when writing songs is all I know is how to write sad love songs, even though I'm happy now. But at the time when I wrote these songs, I was in an unrequited love relationship, and dysfunctional to say the least. But I'm grateful for those things, because I think that those, like, if anybody's ever experienced heartbreak, like they understand that that's what it takes to get where you are now. I wouldn't be
100%.
happily married if I didn't go through all that stuff. So I don't know. I think it's exciting to share. I think when I hear people say, "Oh my God, I can relate to that," like my heart goes out to them, because I know how much pain I was when I wrote that song. And but I think it's also a beautiful thing to not feel alone in that process. And if a song can make you feel less alone, I think then our job is done.
Right. It's so wonderful to see that you genuinely do wear your heart on your sleeve. And as you kind of mentioned, with vulnerability comes being relatable to so many people in the world, but also as everything kind of gets bigger and bigger, it does come with
Yeah,
the trolls and the crazy
of
fandoms. So
course.
I was kind of curious, what's one of the more bizarre things you've read about yourself online? It could be something
Oh my
really
God. I mean,
funny,
I've heard
something weird.
everything, everything from like you're too fat, you're too skinny, whatever.
Oh
Like
my
I
gosh.
think my favorite one this last month was like I actually took a screenshot and sent it to my husband because we were laughing. Someone said, "I don't like the fact that your eyes are too close to each other." And I'm like, I can't change that.
People.
But you have to laugh at that stuff. I also have been an outsider all my life, to be honest, even within my own family unit. I've never felt like I really belonged. And so it's not anything new to me. And when I create, I don't create for others. I mean, I share with others, but I don't do it with the, intention of like, oh, what will people think? I do it because there's something within me that needs to come out. And I don't think it's not for everybody, and that's okay. So I don't expect everybody to like it. But I will say I am pretty shocked, because I was expecting like a lot more trolls, like, because I think when anybody ever shifts from like a certain career, like
Every
people tend
time.
to, they'll say things like stick to tattooing or whatever. I'm like, well, I was playing piano before I was tattooing, so I don't know, but
So suck it.
yeah, exactly. But I think too, it's like I used to deal with this even with the tattoo world. It's like I would post a picture of a tattoo, and I think that's one of the reasons I kind of steer away from that nowadays. I still share some tattoos, but I think some of the criticism is like unfounded, and like I always think like, unless you're Caravaggio, I don't really care what you think about my art, and I think that's how it should be. It's like where's your album, like where's, because the thing is, if you have ever written a song or put yourself out there, it changes you. You would never want to criticize others, because you know what it takes to like put yourself out there. But I don't know. I think, like I said, I'm not for everybody, and I'm okay with that. And I think that for those that do respond to it and they do like it, it just makes my day. I mean, I think for me, music has been such a core inspiration in everything I do. Like I have, there's songs that are like the soundtracks of my life, that when I listen to them, they teleport me back to, smoking a cigarette in Georgia when I was 16 years old, and I think that like, that's the power of music. And to be part of somebody's conscious and subconscious life is, I don't know, it's pretty intense. I think it's beautiful.
No, it's been so wonderful to see. And it's interesting because once I found out, yeah, she's coming out with music finally, to me, because I kind of knew that was always such a huge passion,
Yeah.
just seemed like a flawless kind of next step
Yeah.
for you. But of course, you're going to
Yeah.
have those people out there who are like, oh, why is this happening?
Yeah.
So I totally get where you're coming from. I used to
Yeah.
just interview musicians, then I started interviewing wrestlers, and oh,
Yeah.
why is she doing that? So,
Yeah.
been there.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
follow your
And
passion. That's the biggest thing.
and it's interesting because I think people were expecting me, because I love metal and black metal and rock and roll and all that stuff. But so I think people were expecting it to sound that way, and I'm like, oh, I don't sing that way. My vocals don't lend themselves to a black metal band. I love listening to it, but I feel like for me, I'm such a huge fan of synthwave and just like analog synthesizers. I love Depeche Mode and Gunship and all those bands. So it's like, I think it's I think hopefully it's refreshing or a good surprise to people, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
not, I don't think it's what people expect.
Definitely not, but you're crushing it. So even if they
Oh,
didn't
thank you.
expect it, you're welcome. Of course, one of the many things the world knows you for are the tattoos. And I grew up watching you on TV. Always thought the artistry, everyone in the shop, it was just incredible. And
Yeah.
it's been amazing seeing everything that's happened since. So when it does actually come to tattoos, what's one of the most recent ones you had done?
Well, let's see. I just finished doing a sleeve on a one of my, I don't want to call him a client because he's become a friend over our past few sessions, but he just had two of his, fur babies pass away. So they were these beautiful beagle tattoos. So it was just so nice to see his reaction when he saw the final tattoo. It's almost like, keeping them alive in a certain way. So, and I'm a sucker for memorial tattoos. I think those are so beautiful and I love being a part of that. So yeah, but right now, because I've been so focused in preparing for all the music release, I've taken a break from tattooing every day. So I'm only tattooing, once or twice a week.
Right. No, it makes sense. It's hard to keep up with
Yeah.
all the different passions you have.
Yeah.
It must be.
Yeah.
But another love of yours is, of course, the makeup and Kat Von D Beauty. That line is just growing every single day. It's amazing to see.
Yeah.
A huge part of makeup is creativity, expression.
Yeah.
But are there any trends that you just simply don't get? You kind of find a little bit funny?
Yeah, I mean, well, I sold my makeup line about a year ago, and that was like strategically because we were planning on going on tour last fall, but then obviously
Makes
everything
sense.
got shut down, and so we've kind of been in a holding tank. But as far as like makeup stuff, I mean, I'm a firm believer in whatever floats your boat. Like I would never. I do my makeup so weird. Like I'm like I don't think I could ever criticize other people,
Of
but
course.
I feel like to me, like lately I've been seeing a lot of like the like the furry brow that's like meticulously
Yeah, that goes
waxed.
like way up.
Yes. And I just don't, I mean, I think maybe certain facial structures it looks great on, but like on some people I'm just like it's so distracting. I don't know. But then again, I have black eyebrows, so I'm not one to talk. So
Right. Mine are already fluffy caterpillars anyway, so it's like I don't need the extra
yeah,
attention
you
to
don't
them.
even need anything. Yeah.
Well, Kat, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time and just talking about everything going on right
Yeah.
now. It means so much. You're kicking ass. You're just a total inspiration. So it's been amazing.
Oh, thank you. And so are you, man. You're amazing.
Thank
This is
you.
one of my favorite interviews. Thank
Oh,
you.
that means the world. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
To everyone watching, this has been the incredible Kat Von D. Be sure to check out aliciatout.com for more exclusive interviews and features, and we will see you next time, everyone. Bye.
Bye.